2 attendees in this conference.
Hello.
Bless the Lord, Mr. Helmstetter. Sir, how are you?
I'm incredible. How are you?
I'm better than incredible. How about that?
That's wonderful.
You just don't know how excited I am about having you on the line. I had a few technical difficulties, so it took me a minute to get on, but I'm here and I am
All right.
excited about you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir, for just agreeing to assist us and be with us as we continue. This is our second session of Out with a Bang, and we are live on Facebook Live. So I'm so very thankful to be able to uh, bring this to the people so that the people can know that God has great things in store for them, and greatness belongs to us. Is that right, Doctor Helmstetter?
That's the way we came into this world.
Come on, come on. Okay, see, I knew you were talking my language, but I love your book, Dr. Helmstetter. Your books, oh my God, we started with the book clubs, reading your books, and your books have been a blessing to our lives. And we are so thankful for how you've just pioneered the area of self talk and how to begin to speak better to yourself so that you can see success happen in multiple areas of your life. So thank you for your life work. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for how you continue to pioneer that arena. So I just want to tell people a little bit about you. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Dr. Helmstetter, his books about self talk have literally been life changing for our team. And we have been literally following him we're actually through to his second book now. The first one we wrote was Negative Self Talk and How to Change It. And we were so taken aback by that that we ended up now going to what to say when you talk to yourself. But I also have two other books of yours. So I seem to be a book groupie for you, Dr. Helmstetter, and I'm so thankful for that. But he's done 4 decades of work on self talk. He's considered the dean of the concept. He's authored more than 20 books in the field of self talk and personal growth. He's an international bestseller with over 20 countries, has appeared on Oprah Winfrey, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN News, and 1,200 radio and television programs. I think Dr. Helmstetter has something to tell us about how to talk to yourself or how to change the way that you talk to yourself. So, is there something you'd like to add, Dr. Helmstetter, before I start asking questions?
No, that was wonderful. You can just say that again.
Right. Okay. I'm going to just make this live. We are live again, but I'm going to send some notices to different people because I think what you offer is life changing. So thank you so much for your labor of love and your sacrifices, because anytime we pioneer an area or work to do anything extraordinary, it's sacrifices that we make to get there. So in view of that, let me ask you, when what started you on this journey to positive self-talk?
Well, I was always interested in two areas of psychology: motivational psychology and behavioral psychology. I wanted to know why some people seem to do really well and other people who perhaps wanted to do really well would fall short. And I wanted to know what the difference was. And I suspected very, very early on that it probably had to do with our programming, which meant it would have to do with how our brains get wired. And so I decided to follow to study that field, and it turned out to be correct.
Wow. Wow. So you're saying how our brain is wired. So does that mean then that we still may have doubts and fears or negative thoughts because of the wiring? And second question, is that something that you still struggle with?
Well, most of our most of the thoughts that we have are the result of wiring that we have in place in our brain. But a key point about that is that we're constantly rewiring our brain with everything we think, everything we say, everything we perceive. We never really stop wiring the brain. In fact, it used to be taught in school. If you studied psychology in college, as an example, we were taught that the brain stops growing when we're quite young. But that was before we could look into the brain and actually watch it operate. And what we've learned since then in the field of neuroscience is that our brain never stops rewiring itself. It's always looking for new information. However, we live based on the programs we already got. And if those are negative programs, and a lot of them are, then we tend to look at the world from a negative point of view. If we got a lot more positive programs than negative, then we tend to be more optimistic about life. As far as how I look at life, it's really a fact that the more you practice positive self-talk, that's wiring your brain in a better way, you stop living in the negative and you begin to spend more and more and more of your time in your life in not only just the positive, but in what works instead of what doesn't work. And so you stop spending time worrying about what won't work, and you spend your time thinking about and actively working on what can work and what will work. So yes, that's positive because it's healthy, but it becomes not only a habit, it becomes the way your brain is wired after a while.
Wow. Wow. So
that's really exciting.
Yes, I love
because
studying.
That means that anybody can do that.
Wow.
But they didn't teach it in school. You know, when we went to grade school, they didn't tell us that we were unlimited beings and we could accomplish anything that was practical and realistic. We just went through life hearing what wouldn't work and what we did wrong instead of what we were doing right. And so a lot of us got a lot of bad programs along the way.
Wow. Somebody's on the line, Dr. Shad, and I'm going to ask everyone other than Dr. Shad to mute your lines. Please mute your lines so we can hear him clearly, because what he's saying is literally life-changing. So I need everyone on the line, mute your lines, please. Mute your lines. Thank you so much. Mute your lines, please. Please mute your lines. Thank you so much. Or join me on Facebook. If you can't mute your lines, join me on Facebook at Capitoria Wilson or Out with a Bang. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Dr. Shad. Wow. So in light of that, then it's never too late to change. If you hear a lot of times, well, I've been this way all my life. So it's never too late to change the way I can rewire my brain then, right?
Fortunately, our brain is designed to be able to change no matter how old we are. And that's why we do see, if you think about it, we do see people, sometimes very elderly, who make incredible changes in their lives and literally adopt a new attitude and a new outlook on life. And that's because something has happened in their life that allowed them to rewire it, or rewire their brain, or they decided to do it themselves, which any of us, we're all designed to be able to be our number one trainer. It's that we weren't trained to be our trainer. But it doesn't make any difference how old you are. Your brain is going to keep rewiring itself every single day, whether you're in charge of it or not. So the more control you take over what goes into that brain, because it's actually getting wired in, just like typing it into a computer. The more you're able to take control of that, the better off you're going to be, regardless of what age you are.
Wow. Wow. So say I'm in a family that is full of negativity, or all I've heard is negativity for most of my life. And now that's the way I operate from a negative perspective. I'm speaking negativity. I am seeing negativity in myself and everything that anybody else is doing. I'm overly critical because that's what has been wired into my brain. How do I coexist if I'm in a family environment of negativity?
Well, in the brain, the strongest programs always win. So if you make sure that your programs are strong and positive, so that you've got a lot of programs that tell you what works instead of what won't work, and so on. Those programs, if yours are stronger, your stronger programs are going to override more and more of the negatives around you. So it's very difficult to change somebody else's programs. Very difficult, unless you're a parent with small kids. Then a lot of their programming is coming from you as a parent. But as we get older, it's more and more difficult to do anything to get someone to change their programs. It always works best if they participate, if they want to make a change, if they have a new goal, or if they want to get better, then you can help them change their programs. But it's really up to the individual. We can tell them how to do it, but they still have to take responsibility for changing the wiring of their brain themselves. So that means that most of the people around us aren't going to change unless they want to. Which means if we're surrounded by negative people, and many of us are, if we're surrounded by negative people, we have to make sure that our own programs are very positive and are stronger. That the strongest programs we have are the programs that will help us make it through. What happens then is that you end up hearing what will work. Your internal programs will tell you what will work instead of listening to the outside programs from people around you. That means you're in control of your own programming. It also means you have to take responsibility for your own thoughts and your own thinking. And a lot of people are not trained to do that. But if you decide to do that, if you decide to take control of your own programs, the messages that you get, and you make sure that it's positive self-talk instead of negative self-talk, you can actually create programs in your own mind, your own brain, that are stronger than the programs of the people around you, and therefore you get to win. And that's a positive in this case, because that means that you're going to put the best foot forward. You're going to do what works instead of listening to all of the negatives that tell you what won't work. Failure comes from negative programs, either from yourself or from the people around you. That's where failure of all kinds actually comes from. So the more control you have over your own self-talk, the greater the chance you have of creating your own success.
Wow. Even in an unhealthy environment of negativity, it's up to me to pour in the proper programming so that it outweighs the negativity that's around me.
Yes, the famous psychologist Viktor Frankl was in the concentration camp in Germany. In his work and his famous book Man's Search for Meaning, talked about the fact that many of the people who survived, or most of the people who actually survived, were the people who had an attitude of survival, and that the people who had an attitude of failure were the people who survived less. That's true today in our everyday life, that the people who have an attitude of success and a can-do, and I don't want this to sound like there's nothing wrong with motivational speakers, but I'm not trying to sound like one. It's just that when a motivational speaker says, you can do it if you believe you can do it, there's a great deal of truth in that. And it's also true, the opposite is true. If you believe you cannot, it's not just that you're thinking you can't, you're literally wiring your brain to make absolutely sure that you don't succeed, that you're wiring your brain to fail. And every single day, everyone listening right now is either on an average daily basis, they're either wiring their brain to stay in neutral, to achieve and to do really well, or to fail. And most of those programs that people are wiring themselves with right now, today, and tomorrow, and the next day, most of those programs we're not even aware of. They're unconscious. We don't know we're thinking them, but they're just as powerful as the programs in a computer that we can't see them, but we know they're there.
Wow. Well, I don't know any other word I could add to what you're saying except wow, because that's just that's just how phenomenal what you're sharing is for us all. So thank you. So just a couple other questions. I know we're a couple of minutes behind time, but if you have to go now, it's okay. But I have a couple other if it's okay with you.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. So you became so successful, and when you make the Oprah show, then it's like, okay, you've arrived now. You're on Oprah. You're on not only Oprah, but CNN and ABC, CNN News and ABC and NBC and CBS. And I mean, you had all the major places. Who did you know to get there? How did you do that?
I just used two ideas that I thought would help, and that was number one, have good goals, and number two, have a really good attitude. A combination of goals and attitude is what helped me write the books that I wrote. It's what got me to be able to talk to people all over the world. It always got down to the goals had to be really specific and really clear, and I had to have an attitude that saw me as being able to do it instead of failing. So I didn't rely so much on others, although there were many people who helped, but I relied first on setting good goals and having a good attitude.
Wow. Okay. So you didn't know anybody. It was all what the way you practice what you preach in life, basically.
I didn't know anyone. Many of the people that I knew were people who told me what I could not do and what wouldn't work, and that I said I was going to write a best-selling book. I'd never written a book before, and I said I was going to write a best-selling book, and that it would be all over the world, and it would be help people change their lives all over the world. And most of what people said to me was that, oh, you don't know anything about that. You could never do that. So what I did is I left. I went to an island off the coast of Texas, and by myself, and I took my early computer with me, and I decided I will just leave those people behind who are telling me what I cannot do, and I'm just going to go by myself and write the book. And so that's what I did in complete isolation. I just went off and began to write, and 3 months later I came back with a manuscript, and maybe 3 or 4 months after that the book was published, and then shortly after that I was on Oprah.
Wow. So you're talking about, we didn't discuss this, but I'm curious, an island right off of Texas, the coast of Texas. I went to South Padre Island, and that was right off the coast of Texas. Was that perhaps?
Port Ranch.
Okay. Okay.
That's right there. Yeah.
I've been there.
That's where I wrote What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
What you say? My mother said that's the best time she had in her life. She wants to go back there. So we're going to head back there again. But we brought the new year in there a while ago as a family. So thank you so much. I feel like that is just a wonderful place to accomplish anything. So I could see why you could just really get away, and the food was good and everything about it was fantastic. So thank you so much for that. So how did you stay the course, Dr. Helmstetter, when things got really hard? And I heard you say that that most of the people told you that you couldn't do it. You weren't qualified. You don't know anything about that. How can you accomplish that? How did you stay the course of be true to your heart and stay that course when things got really difficult?
I did two things. One is something I said before that I'll repeat, and that is I continued to set goals, and I read and reread and reviewed my goals day after day after day. I kept them very short, very simple, and very clear, but I kept them in the front of my mind. So I was always aware every morning and just before I went to sleep at night, I was absolutely clear about what my goals were. And then also I continued to go back to school and to study so that I would learn everything I needed to learn about this thing we call the human brain. And so between having really good goals and continuing to study, I was able to find out what I needed to learn, or to study what I needed to learn to make sense out of this idea that would answer the question, why are some people more successful than others? What is it really? And what I learned was, and what really kept me going was that when we're born with virtually unlimited potential and opportunity. When no one is born to fail, we're absolutely born to succeed, to live up to our very best. That's biologically and spiritually. That's how we're born. And with that in mind, studying the brain and finding out that the brain is designed to help us do that. The brain is designed to help us succeed, not fail. It's designed to help us succeed. That when I began putting all of that together, the road became very clear. And by keeping those goals in mind, which, by the way, had to do with helping other people and doing something that would be of value, I was able to always see the future and the potential in front of me, and that kept me from stopping.
Wow. 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 I'm trying to stop saying that, but this is so wonderful that I gotta keep saying it. So what do you see happening next for you, Dr. Helmstetter?
Well, some people have said to me, and I don't have a false humility. I really have a genuine sense of having a purpose and believing very strongly that if we have a purpose and we work for it, then and it's good, then we're leading a meaningful life. And so some people have said, well, how do you feel about all those millions of people who have read your books or learned something from what you wrote or something like that? And my answer has always been, I never really think about that. And the reason I don't is because there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of people. And what about all of those people who haven't gotten the message, who don't know? And so that means I have a huge job in front of me. And I doubt that I'll ever reach that final goal while I'm still here. But every single day I can, I'm going to keep working at it.
Yeah, and you're also going to impart what you're sharing into others. And I believe that, God always has a successor. There's always somebody around or some people
Yes.
around that will pick up that charge and continue on.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your work. And last question, well, two more questions. What is a question that you wish others would ask you, but nobody seems to ask?
I occasionally someone will ask this, but I like it when people ask the question, what can I do? What can they do?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much they can do, and perhaps at some time when we talk again, we can talk more about specifically what can people do. But it's a question I really like because I never tell people what they should do. In fact, I don't give advice. I just talk about how the brain works and what we've learned and what you can do with it. But I never tell people what they should do themselves. I'm just talking about the tools they have. And so I like it when somebody says, how can I do this? What should I do next?
Wow. That's awesome. And how do we contact you? How do we contact you, Dr. Helmstetter?
Well, there are two websites that are really good. One is the shadhelmstetter.com. That gives you good general information. And then there's another website if people want to begin practicing positive self-talk. They can go to Plus, SELFTALK plus PLUS.com, selftalkplus.com, and you can actually you can sign up, you can subscribe to that. It's a monthly subscription service, but you can start listening to Positive Self-Talk free for 30 days, and that's enough to give you a really good idea of how it works and what you might like to do next.
Okay. And believe me, Dr. Helmstetter, I am telling everybody to do that because I think that what you do there is absolutely amazing. So I am one of those that is always looking at where what I can do to further get into a better headspace, and that's mostly what we're talking about. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. This is not it. You know, we have some more time we're going to share together. And I'm so very thankful for you. I thank God for you and for the heart that you have and just a love to help people. And you all, please go to selftalkplus.com. You really, really will not be disappointed with that. Ask me how I know, because I'm one of those that continue to share it with people. Download selftalkplus.com. You can't get a better gift than that. Free for 30 days. And the categories that he has there are phenomenal. I mean, he covers so much ground. I'm like, Dr. Helmstetter, is there any area that you don't cover? Okay.
There, there are. I'm writing. I continue to write positive self-talk programs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working on one now called Self-Talk for Recovery, and I think that would help a lot of people also.
Woo, you are a gift to us. You're a gift to the world. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I'm so excited. You all don't think this is the last you'll hear from him, because we definitely are going to go a little bit further, a lot further, actually, with Dr. Helmstetter. But in the meantime, go to his website, shadhelmstetter.com, or go to selftalkplus.com and download the 30-day free service that he avails to you. Trust me, it's worth it. Ask my team. I tell all of them, download it. Don't wait. Download it, and you can actually. I kind of did a little investigation on you, Dr. Helmstetter. Call it the police in me, and I was looking at actually your website, selftalkplus.com, because some people said when I sent them the link, they couldn't access it on their phones. So I was very happy to see that you have it online so that people can see the plethora of assistance you offer, as well as that's the one way that they can start utilizing the blessing that you have to help us get rid of negative self-talk. Thank you so much, Dr. Helmstetter. We appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you more, because, you and I, Ty, we're going to do a lot of work together, Dr. Helmstetter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have an incredible day.
Thank you so much. You do the same. God bless you, sir. All right. Okay. I forgot to record that, but that's okay. That's all right. I forgot to put a record. It is recorded on Facebook Live. And I'm so very thankful for that. And for all of you all that joined us, I'm telling you the truth. We're still just the beginning. This is still just our beginning. But we are doing Out with a Bang. This is our second session for today. We're coming with you. We're coming to you at 11 a.m. Central Standard and at 6 p.m. Central Standard to talk to you about some things that matter and help you to navigate the stream of life that you're in. We're talking about 6 different tracks. You've heard Dr. Jan kicked it off on relationships. OMG, what a phenomenal word we got from her at just about an hour ago. And Dr. Helmstetter is coming with this bonus section today for talking about how to help yourself with negative self-talk and giving you free gifts for 30 days. Just try them out. You won't be disappointed. This evening at 6 p.m., we coming right back at you, and we're going to talk about family at 6 p.m. And we're going to leading the charge will be my sister. That's what I call her, my sister in love, Yvette Wilson. and she'll be talking about she's been working with youth for over 29 years, so she will definitely have a lot to say. She got her pulse on the heart of the youth, and youth are part of our important family. So we'll find that. And then that will be three categories, well, two categories that we would have covered. And then the next day, for 4 days straight, we're going to cover two different categories as listed on our flyer. And so you'll be able to tune in and talk about those, and just hear something from us regarding those categories from people that have gotten on the other side of it. Yes, that's it. People that have gotten on the other side of it. And lastly, now that you have heard this, join our Facebook group, Out with the Bang. You see the flyer on the live page, and that's what it looks like at the top, Out with the Bang. So join us. All the words are together and they're lowercase, but Out with the Bang. Join our Facebook group, and please invite others to join our Facebook group, as well as um, we're going to have some success work for you. Dr. Jan gave some work for you to do earlier today. So go back if you missed her. She was absolutely off the chain. I'm telling you the truth. Dr. Jan was phenomenal. That's my two words, fantastic and phenomenal, put together. She was not phenomenal or fantastic. She was phenomenal. So go back and take a listen to that and share these lives. Please share these lives. And we'll be back with you. I'm going to put that success work in our group, Out with the Bang. You've got to ask permission to join it. So join our Facebook group and join this and get on this journey with us to from the 19th, starting today, to the 22nd. Every session will be at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So we're coming back tonight, this evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about family. So thank you so much. May God's riches and best be yours. And let us know what you think about this. What is it that you want? How would you like to go out with a bang on this holiday season? How would you like to go out with a bang? Okay, God bless you until 6 p.m. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, because we want to see, what is this all about? Reset. Want to help you reset your life before you end in these 6 life cycle components before you end 2021. You heard Dr. Helmstetter. It's possible. You have to rewire your brain. You can exist in a negative environment and still have a lot of positivity, but there's work that you have to do to rewire your brain. So just join us, and our first portion is about release, and that's what both of them talked about. Dr. Jan talked about it. Dr. Helmstetter talked about it. Yvette will come forward and talk about it, because this is the success work that you need to do to go out with the bang. This is our first category for the first day, release. And believe me when I tell you, all 6 of these categories, the 6 categories are spirituality, relationship, health and fitness, career and finance, personal growth, and family. Positive self talk is necessary to help you in every single category that we've listed. Okay, let's release it today and get on the journey to go out with a bang. God bless you until 6 p.m. Invite somebody, and don't forget, set your clock, show up 6 p.m. Central Standard. Be blessed. Bye bye.